They didn't score any runs either. So the more your starting pitching can throw deeper into games, and some starting pitchers, 5 innings is as deep as it'll go. That's fine. But bullpenning in the sense, the way that you guys are talking about it, I don't think it's feasible. That's why I really think a guy like Andrew Heaney could come in to play in this series big time. Left-handed, throws curveballs. Astros struggle with curveballs, and he can give you length in the sense of like one time through the order, whatever that is. That might not be 3 innings, but it might be 2+ innings going one time through the order.
Is Jordan Montgomery taking you out to dinner this offseason, Kratz? Because he's going to have some extra cash, like a lot. Many millions of dollars are being made.
He's married
by
now.
Monty.
He's married now. He doesn't hang out anymore.
That sucks.
Yeah.
So are you, and you hang out.
Yeah, but my wife loves it when I hang out.
6 in the third shutout, 5 hits, a walk, 6 strikeouts. Most impressively, he is Yordan Alvarez's kryptonite.
We make great pitches on Yordan.
Right, so he's his kryptonite.
He pitched him kind of how you would want to pitch him, how most teams want to pitch him, but they don't have the ability to pitch him, meaning heaters in. And the one thing about lefties that, as a left-handed hitter, they don't throw balls. Not a lot of lefties throw balls into a lefty. If I faced lefties and they just stayed away, it was like, okay, I can hit this guy. But the ones that gave me trouble were like, back in the day was Mark Mulder, because he would sink it in on your hands, and you're like, oh, gosh, that's not really a pitch I'm used to seeing, and I don't normally handle it very well. But if you notice, Monty went in, sinkers in, up and in, sinkers in, and then he went to the curveball, right? But he got him so conscious inside and so sped up that it made him flail at those curveballs. It was a great job by Jonah Heim. It was a great job by Jordan Montgomery. And listen, there was the biggest at-bat. There was 2 huge at-bats in that game for the Astros. One was where he punched out Alvarez. I think it was first and second in the third or fourth inning, first and second or second and third, whatever it was. And then
I think bottom 3.
In bottom 3, and then the Maldonado at bat in bottom 4 where he punched him out with the bases loaded, right? I thought because Dubon got the hit, right, and they couldn't score the guy from second because it was a one-hopper right to the left fielder. Gary Pettis, third base coach, had to hold him. Maldonado comes up with the bases loaded and couldn't score, and then they really never had another chance after that.
Well, Altuve at least got on, and then, you got to hit the bag when you're going back.
Yeah, but
right?
I'll say this. I thought it wasn't explained very well last night, the rule. What Altuve did was he got to the base, okay? And when you get to the base, usually what you do is you put your foot on the base and leave it there, right? And then that way, if you, like kind of what happened to Bryce the other day, if you put your foot on the base, you leave it there. And then that way, either way you can go either way and not have to reestablish. But he put his foot on the base, and then when he went to step, he stepped towards third. So he probably thought, man, I don't have to retouch because I was touching the base. But if you take that step towards third, you still have to retouch, even though this foot was on the base. So he kind of went, and then he went back. Whereas if you're here and you have your foot on the base and then you go directly back, you don't have to retouch. But because he kind of took that one step to third, then he had to retouch, and he didn't. And it was great. You could see Simeon right away going, he didn't retouch. It was a great job by Simeon noticing it. But that's something that you're taught as a player to look for. Guys missing bases, stuff like that.
That is wild to me. I mean, there's so much going on. And Marcus Simeon's like, Altuve, I'm looking at your feet. You didn't get there.
Kratz, I don't know about, but I used to watch guys take round first. I used to watch everything. Like you'd see the ball and you'd watch him go around first. And you'd
just
be like,
automatically
did he touch first?
Yeah. But how often does that actually happen?
Very rarely, but it's happened. It happened last night.
It's a habit. Like how much energy did it take AJ to watch somebody around first base and see? Not much. But you see the guys who are in the game and you're constant, like there's just checklists. And Josh Young actually was the first one I saw pointing at it. In the slow motion, you see Simeon turning around and pointing at it. So I don't know if Josh Young was saying something or what was happening, but you see Josh Young. So there's more than just Simeon watching. Everybody's watching. A good bench coach watches that. There's so many people watching that play. And it was definitely a brain fart, I think, by Altuve because of stepping up. If he had even stepped over, like AJ had said, I think his right foot went towards went towards third base. If he had kept his left foot on and just kind of like pivoted around and gone, he would have been totally fine and gone back. But it was And as soon as they reversed the call, they showed Altuve's face, and he was just like so embarrassed. But
hey. he knew it right away. Altuve knew. And the thing is you're taught as a base runner, just retouch it automatically. Just to be safe. Like, just if you go anywhere close to it, just if on your way back, just automatically retouch.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you used to be able to get away with it because there was no replay. But now there's so many, especially in the LCS and the World Series, there's so many cameras. There's a million cameras like staring on every person. So there's no way that they're not going to see that.
I also think
the umpire almost blocked it. The best angle, the umpire
view.
The umpire was like right there, and you're like, crap.
The other thing too, like AJ talking about always watching the base. As many games as we play and watch, if you pay attention to the game, something just looks different. Like the timing of it looks different. People think like, wow, how can you totally see like the distance, the difference in him missing it or not missing it? There's just like a timing aspect to plays. And when he makes that round right there, naturally you think, okay, even in your periphery, you're seeing the ball, but you're also kind of seeing where he's at and seeing if he retouched. It's just such a good baseball play by the Rangers. And I wouldn't say they stole one last night. Like, this team is built to win these games, and they've been winning these games. So I had them winning last night, and I just thought the Astros were going to score some runs.
No, they were the better team last night. Also, by the way, they were not getting fooled by Verlander. I mean, he pitched, I don't know if you'd call it but he barely got any whiffs. I know he got better, which is often the case with him, but he still wasn't getting swing and miss.
But he's really a two-pitch guy now, and his velocity's down. He's not a swing and miss guy anymore. Like, if you look at him even during the regular season, he wasn't a huge swing and miss guy.
Yeah, his Ks were down this year.
His Ks were down. His velo's down. I mean, he was like 93, sitting in 93, where normally he's been 95, 96. His slider's still good, but he's more of almost like a weak contact guy now, which, listen, he gave up 2 runs. It wasn't like he went out and got whacked.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, he gave up 2 runs.
In some scenarios, he could have gotten hit pretty good.
Yeah. But, I mean, listen. I mean, against the Twins, he kind of did the same thing. He couldn't find it early, and he got better as the game went on. Honestly, he made one mistake. It was the one to Taveras that he hit for the home run. But the one Carter hustle double, and then he kind of jammed Deona Heim, and he threw it out there to center, right? Okay, fine, 1-0. We're the Astros. We should be able to score 1 run, right? And then he made one mistake to Taveras, and after that, that was really it. It wasn't like they got crushed 22-0. I mean, it was literally two hits that killed them.
Yeah, that's the hanging slider to Taveras. But no, I mean, we say this all the time. You got to score in the playoffs. I mean, if you're Houston, you're not expecting, obviously, to be shut out, let alone they score 3 runs in this game, they win the game. And I thought the inning where there could have been damage was Aroldis Chapman coming in as a total wild card because you don't know where the ball's going half the time. Neither does he. He's had a lot of fun in that park. That was fun for me. The park was like, boo, wait. Yeah, actually, yeah, we love this guy. We've had great moments with him. You know, like they were like so programmed to boo everyone, but then they were like, wait, actually, I want to cheer for this guy because I want Aroldis Chapman in the game. That was your time. I mean,
well, Bregman hit a ball to the fence. The guy jumped and caught.
Right.
I mean, and then they got the double play. I mean, that was the game. That was I mean, when Bregman hit that ball, it was just like, oh shit, there we go, 2-2. Astros will figure out a way to win this because their bullpen's better. But Carter made the catch. Maybe it's the Astros' year. I mean, the Rangers' year. Sorry. Maybe it's the Rangers' year this year.
Well, and defense helps. I mean, we saw nice defensive plays on both sides. And lastly, you know what helps? When you do shit. To me, I say it every freaking year. All of these teams did stuff. The Rangers did everything. I mean, they bought so many players that freaking Jacob deGrom's sitting on their IL and Jordan Montgomery's the ace because they picked him up mid-season. The Astros have Justin Verlander for the next couple years on a massive discount. That makes a huge difference to me. The Diamondbacks have Sewald that extended their bullpen, makes them much better. Tommy Pham made them much better. Obviously, the Phillies are probably the team that did the least, quote, the least at the deadline, but they've been doing as much as any team in baseball over the past couple of years. That matters. I think rarely do you see a team in these situations that's like, yeah, we just tanked and we're just going to build from within and basically do nothing. That's what I mean. I keep picking on a team like the Orioles, but I'm like, if that's how they operate the next few years, good luck. You need to have supplements to what you're doing.
Remember when the Yankees said Jordan Montgomery couldn't pitch in the playoffs?
How'd that go?
Good job, guys.
Bad
good job, Yankees.
evaluating.
I mean, good job.
He's available in free agency after this year.
Yeah. How fun would that be for him? And also, we know, I mean, we can get into it with him next time we talk to him, but he was fucking pissed that he was
Of course
traded.
he was.
He was pissed about being traded, about how he was looked at within the organization. And, I mean, Kratz, you probably know this better than I could say. I think he's had a chip on his shoulder since that trade.
You know what? I think he's going to say all the right things, but I also saw how he was treated when he was with the Yankees. And I'm not saying he was treated poorly. I'm saying the guys they loved ahead of him were completely different pitchers. Obviously, Luis Severino, legit. Garrett Cole, legit. Nestor Cortez was an all-star. I'm trying to think who else they had before they, but they went and got a guy like Frankie Montas instead of saying, all right, Monty, here's the ball. We've seen you forever. And I don't know if the peripheries or how everything, goes on trades like that. They needed a center fielder. So they got Harrison Bader, who was coming off an injury. So it was like, you can say they liked him, but if you don't think a guy's going to make your roster, that to me gives you quality innings every year, then hopefully, it doesn't pan out like this. For most teams, it doesn't pan out like this. I don't think this is necessarily, a chip on his shoulder. I just think it's a guy that has a talent of throwing the ball downhill. Everything is really downhill. And that's why I thought maybe that Jordan matchup might be tough. But until he started throwing, he threw like 2 or 3 fastballs in so well that it just opened up that curveball, which Jordan's never going to be able to touch. He could tell him it's coming, and he's not going to be able to hit it. But Monty he has set himself unbelievable year, career year, and now to do what he's done in the playoffs so far. I saw a side-by-side of Bruce Bochy's Madison Bumgarner in 2010 and Jordan Montgomery this year. For the first 3 starts, almost identical in the postseason. From 2010 Bumgarner to 2023 Jordan Montgomery. It is crazy. 2-0. Monty has like 13 or 14 strikeouts, and Bumgarner had 17. Same amount of walks, almost the same amount of on-base percentage from teams. Like, it was some crazy stats. And to think about where Bumgarner ended up going then in free agency, it's some good cheese coming.
My thing is, I don't know how much you guys watched the show, but I just did the Astros and the Twins series, right? They were under 500 in the regular season at home. The Astros were, which is unbelievable. And then they made all these big changes like to the batter's eye because they couldn't see left-handed pitchers. And we talked about it in the DS, and they hit on it in the post game and a little bit, I think, in the pregame on Fox. But it was weird because we hit on all this stuff. Like, they didn't play well in the home. They like moved the batter's eye. We showed a picture of it where it was, and then how they kept painting it like farther and farther and farther over because they said they couldn't see. Man, that place is a good place to hit. It was a great place to see. And they always had like an excuse like, oh, we can't see because of they put like a Budweiser red, and they're like, oh, we can't see. And so they made it green and farther and farther and farther. But I'm just like, man, y'all got a lot of excuses for a team that won the division and has always been unbelievable at home.
Also, why are you making any changes when you just won the World Series?
They changed. I mean, I'm telling you, like, I don't think I still have the picture. But we showed the pictures on the DS of how much they had moved the batter's eye over. It was like crazy. It was like almost like the old Fenway thing where they had the people in center field, and then during the day games they put the mesh over in center field. It was weird.